Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have some major stuff here regarding the 2024 election. I really got to start recalibrating my brain because this whole soppy love story now with the media and Kamala Harris, I'm just so not threatened by it. And maybe I should be, I don't know, but it's just like you can predict this stuff from 5, 10, 15, 20 days out. Kamala Harris, I mean these people, they love democracy. Kamala Harris in 2020, the primaries, I'm sure you guys know. I shouldn't even say that. Really, when we talk about Kamala Harris's 2020 primary campaign, it's actually a 2019 campaign. She didn't last until 2020. That's how bad she was in terms of how she was running, and Democrats even admitting she's terrible. We didn't vote for her. She got like 3% in terms of the polls and then dropped out. But no. They're fighting for democracy. Biden was terrible during the debate. They all threw a hissy fit, and now we've got Kamala, and she's going to be our savior. And this is one of the worst VPs in terms of approval rating, in terms of likability. She was on the border. Now they're trying to rewrite history and say no, that wasn't her job. When it's admitted it was, and she was terrible at it. Now all these clips are coming up, guys. We have to understand the dynamics of this race. The Democratic Party, they were split. It might have not even been a split. It might have been like 75-25. They were against Biden. So obviously Biden's numbers were going to be artificially bad. That's not to say Trump wasn't winning. He was, but Biden's numbers were even worse than they should have been because Biden was not getting that mainstream media support. From MSNBC he was. MSNBC will support a rock over Trump. But in terms of CNN had turned on Biden, so his numbers were artificially bad. Now you're seeing Kamala doing slightly better. We do have Trump advisors coming out with statements saying we would expect Kamala to do better in terms of the polls. It's totally normal. Let's let the race settle down. And what do you have here? This is the biggest shock of 2024. Kamala Harris just 2 days removed from being the presumed Democratic nominee. She's gone from cringe to cool in 24 hours. Van Jones stunned at Kamala Harris TikTok phenomenon. Quote, "This is not a campaign." Guys, this is a movement. Kamala Harris, totally democratically elected. They pushed Biden out. This is her movement now. 24 hours, they installed her. And this is huge. This rivals MLK. Van Jones he's right here. But it's just like, it's all like, I'm so numb to this bullshit. Like, of course they're going to simp for Kamala. Of course she's the next big thing. Meanwhile, she hasn't done like one big speech or anything like that. Totally undeserved. Complete DEI hire. Apparently calling someone a DEI hire is now racist when, I guess the Democrats are racist. They said in 2020, Biden's VP, because he's an old white man, Biden's VP needs to be a minority female. That was the Democrats, not me. Go look at all the videos. They're all over Twitter or X. And so, yes, come on. No, it's a movement now. 24 hours into this, she didn't get a single vote. It's totally a movement. It's totally legitimate. Of course, this is what CNN always was going to do. And get ready. Now Trump wants multiple debates with Kamala as well. We'll see what the VP is going to be. We also do have this. You've got 50 plus House and Senate Democrats are going to boycott Netanyahu's speech that's happening today. Obviously, this tweet was from yesterday. So when I first heard the rumors that they're not going to pick Josh Shapiro because he's Jewish, I was like, that's kind of ridiculous, you would think. CNN said it on TV. But no, guys, I think that's legitimate. And now there's worries if they pick Josh Shapiro, that's only going to heighten the protests at the DNC. Obviously, the Democrats right now down in the polls. Kamala Harris, nobody really knows how she'll lead. They want a great, positive DNC with full support around Harris. And I do imagine, because people are still wondering, I don't believe at this point Obama has come out and endorsed Harris. I would imagine they're planning, and this is just my speculation, probably some type of rally with Obama and Kamala. It might be her first big rally for the campaign as a candidate, and Obama will officially endorse her and do some bullshit political stunt rather than endorse her behind the scenes to try and drum up more interest and more momentum into her campaign. Also, we've got reports now, they're getting so desperate. There's this pop star with some brat thing. It's like a brat girl summer. And they're literally trying to get 18-year-old girls to vote for Kamala Harris because it's like she's this brat now. And these people, they get one vote, I get one vote. It's great. No, they're the educated ones. No, the 18-year-old barista because she's getting she's getting some bullshit degree. She's more educated. She knows more about politics. She's going to vote for Kamala and cancel out my vote because Kamala's a brat or something. I don't know what that is, but they're talking about it on all these networks. But no, this is real. They can't choose Shapiro. The left says you can't be racist. You can't be racist against anyone except white people. This confirms it. They can't choose Shapiro because of his race. I'm not even kidding you. That's legitimate. And there'll be even more protests with all the Palestine people, at the DNC, which obviously Republicans should like. You want as much disruption as possible. But if Shapiro was picked, it would only heighten the tension and heighten the protests. So I think it's not going to happen. Now it's come out, Mark Kelly, at least last night when I was looking at it, he's got like a 42% chance to be the VP. You're also looking at, I forgot who was in second place. I think from North Carolina. I think Roy Cooper was in second place. But listen, the VP is going to be a generic white dude. We've been saying it all along. This was crazy, man. Behind the scenes, U.S. Secret Service has suggested to the Trump campaign that due to security concerns, any further rallies planned before November's election to be held at indoor venues. And it's just crazy that because of the Secret Service incompetence, Trump has to literally neuter his rallies to having a capacity of only around 13K, because at many of these arenas, the arena might sit 18K, but with where Trump's talking, obviously there's not going to be people normally behind him, so that's going to take away some of the capacity right there. So now the capacity of these arenas is 10, 12, 15K, and he can't do any outdoor events. And I think for Trump, it's really all hands on deck. You've got many liberals coming out saying they're very happy the assassination attempt happened, even though it wasn't successful, because now this will give copycats a chance to possibly do something. If something happens to Trump, I don't think it's going to be from a rally. The security is going to be too heightened. There's going to be way too many. I mean, it's are you kidding me? Trump nearly got killed at a rally, and then, it ends up happening for real. I mean, it should have happened for real. We're lucky that Trump turned his head, but I'm just saying, I think if something happened to Trump, it would be another way. It would not be at a rally. But either way, it's just crazy. What happened where apparently Trump asks for more security. They don't give it to him. Now they're denying that happened. But then they've also got people that said, oh, it wasn't, true Secret Service. There were only like 3 or 4 people within the Secret Service there. There are so many different reports. We see the body cam video last night with the shooter's blood running down the roof. And he's, they're on top of the roof, probably at about like 7, 8 o'clock at night on July 13th in Butler, kind of looking over the situation. They were talking about a bicycle. I think they thought the shooter had a bicycle or something. But you could see the rifle also on the roof as well there. That's a very interesting body cam video if you guys want to take a look at that. Axios was on a roll. It's sad to see. Rest in peace to Axios. So Axios basically says the Trump campaign and Republicans have tagged Harris repeatedly as being like the border god. And that's what she said she was. And you can see this is the exact same it's the exact same author who said this, also said, and that was an hour ago, also said that she was the main border expert. And so Harris led the border. I mean, there was video after video after video of Harris saying that, whatever she was calling the illegal migrants, they're not actually illegal. This is the last thing that we need. Like, at least with Biden, you could kind of have the guise of, if you look at Biden, his past statements back when he was younger, he at least had some strict border policy. Now he comes out with this new executive order to try and tighten the border. They put in Harris. Harris is as soft as you can be on the border. But of course, guys, we have to understand, none of this really matters. Nobody gives a fuck within the Democratic Party what Kamala Harris wants to do. It's part of the system, like Vivek Ramaswamy said. So, all of this stuff, it's she even knows. What really right does she have to say in terms of bossing the government around and telling them what to do? She was not even elected by her own party. So she has no, standing, and it doesn't matter anyways. Neither did Biden. I mean, I'm guessing Biden had a little bit more, considering he's been a politician for a lot longer. He was the VP to Obama for 8 years. So he has definitely had more relationships. But just this whole deal, I mean, obviously Kamala is just horrible with the border, but what's going to happen with the border if the Democrats somehow win in 2024? That's going to be a system that decides it. It's not going to be Kamala Harris saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's their overall system. They don't really have a leader. They did with Obama, but now they don't. when it was Biden, and now with Harris, these are just puppets. They're total puppets. And Harris has even less of a leg to stand on because they propped her up. It's not like she had this great campaign during the primaries. It is totally ridiculous. So while her polling numbers may look better right now, I do think she's a worse candidate than Biden. The only argument you can make, and this is why I was saying I think they were going to go with Harris over Biden, was Biden was so... I mean, you look at Biden, I don't say... There was a funny video with Biden, and I was showing it on my live stream. It's on my X, where Biden gets off the plane. This is the first time he was seen in 6 days, and people were saying it was a double, like it was someone else. I think it was Biden. Biden gets off the plane. One of the reporters asks Biden, "Why did you drop out?" And then Biden looks and he stops. It was like he's going to answer the question, and he was like, "Can you repeat that or something?" And then they're like, "Why did you drop out?" And Biden just starts laughing. Like, is that not the most legitimate question right now? We have not heard from Biden. He puts out this weird statement, and then you've just got a reporter at the airport right when he gets off the plane. You know, why did you drop out? And then Biden just starts laughing. It's just, the guy is so far gone. If you watch Biden walk, he's a walking carcass. And listen, maybe Biden will come out tonight and say some stuff. I'm sure he'll still say whatever. He'll bend the knee to Harris for sure. But it would be funny to see Biden come out, maybe with the whisper, bring out the whisper, and just go at Kamala and be like, "I'm still the president, bitch." He should do something like that. I like the whisper. I like what Biden's been doing with the whisper, honestly. But Harris is just terrible on the border. We've also got this. This was, I think, something that came out in 2000. Yeah, March 21st of 2000. 177-page report on replacement migration. Well, of course, it's not a conspiracy theory. That's literally what happened. Now, if you're a first world country, you really have two main options when it comes to your population going down. You know, whether it's white people not having as many kids, natural born citizens not having as many kids. You can either ramp up the immigration to try and replace the supposed, white people that you're losing in terms of your population not going down by replacing them with migrants, which is what the United States is doing very clearly. That's why their population is continuing to go up. Or you can be Japan, where they've got really strict immigration, but their population is going down. I think we need to incentivize people having children and stray away from obviously the replacement migration. But it's just like, how is this a theory? How is it a theory? No, it's literally happening. Like you look at the population and what's going to be in 2015. There's no theory. It's not a theory. Now you can say, "Oh, that's good," whatever. People argue it. Listen, this is what I've said all along. I said we need a border shut down, and then we need the deportation to happen. Shut down the border, and then I'll have the deportation. I know Trump hasn't said he's going to shut down the border, but I think he's saving that, and then he's going to actually do it. He doesn't want to say it because it's not going to play well with independence. But if we've got 20 million illegal immigrants in this country, we have to get it under control by shutting down the border, and then the deportation starts, and then we can resume the immigration after the deportation project. Now, the issue with the United States, Trump's only going to have 4 years. Now, you could say that's not an issue because we don't want a president ruling for 20 years, but I'm just saying in terms of implementing policy, the problem would be if Trump starts deporting people, it's not just going to take 3 or 4 years. It's like you're swimming up water, because then maybe a Democrat gets in 2020 and then reverses everything. Just like what happened with Biden in 2020, we're back to square one. We're actually at a significantly worse place with immigration, even though Trump built the wall, because Biden, that administration, has gone so far back on it. And I mean, their original statements were, "We want to let people in. Trump's a racist for building the wall. It's disgusting." And it's a kumbaya moment. And you see all these liberals. There was some lady saying that she wanted Trump. She was mad that Trump was not killed. And she's like, "How dare you? Those are people. Those are women and children." Number one, no, you're wrong. You don't do any research. It's 70% like 30-year-old men, 25-year-old working able-bodied men coming up here. It is not women and children. It's like 23% women and children. So that's wrong in and of itself. But this is not a Disney fairy tale where we can just let everyone in and it's going to be kumbaya and there's going to be no crime or anything like that. This is a big problem. And then on top of that, listen, when it comes to like all of this stuff with illegals and allowing these people and giving them hotels and stuff, once we have a very low or a near zero homelessness problem in the United States with people born in America being homeless, once that goes down to near zero, we can start bringing in people. We can start doing charity work like that. But why don't you just use the guilt trip against them? They say, these are women and children coming across the border. How dare you? Well, how dare you? We're giving up, the government is giving up assets for these people. They're giving them free money. What about all of the people that were born in the United States? Do they not matter as much? They don't. These people are not America first. They don't care. It's all about virtue signaling. And now we've got the full numbers. 18 to 29-year-olds are conservative, and they have to try and combat that with all this illegal immigration and hopefully getting some of them legalized to vote against the right. That's why when immigrants come in, they're 70% liberal. Now, maybe that's changing slightly, but it's not going to change a ton. So there's an incentive for them to import these people. It's through, voting and keeping power that way. It's a big issue. If there's an incentive to bring these people in and they're possibly committing more crimes because, most of them are very poor. There's a high propensity to commit crimes if you are poor. And we've got report after report after report of all these American young people, young women in particular, being murdered by illegal immigrants. So this is all very, very bad. It's disturbing. But unfortunately for the left, they're incentivized to continue to do this. It's very, very sad. And then this is just a quick thing here at the end. People wondering about Trump versus Harris in terms of the data set, the models. We're not going to have results of a Trump-Harris model probably for another at least 4 or 5 days. The issue is all these models impute all of the swing state polling, and I'm sure we're going to get a huge swath of swing state polling from pretty much everyone within the next 4 or 5 days. But until that happens, you can see this is updated. It says July 21st, Biden has stepped down. We have paused the forecast until we have sufficient polling data about his successor. And so, obviously, Harris is not here. Biden at that point had a 1 in 6 chance, and they will be replacing Biden with Harris, and we should get an update. This is my favorite model to use. Personally, I just think it has the most information out of all of them in terms of you can go state by state and look at percent chances, like Oregon, 94% chance for Biden, Michigan, 72% chance for Trump, and it also has an update here. So this is just the one I normally use. I feel like it has the best updated system. So, but they haven't updated it. When they do, I'll definitely do a video talking about it. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.